Hi, in today's video I'm going to talk about 5 ways that you can save money while full-time RVing. Hi, welcome back to our channel, RVing into Retirement. My name is Corinne and I'm going to share with you some of the best ways to save money on your top expense, campgrounds. Also, that will inadvertently save you money on fuel. So the first way is by staying monthly or seasonally at campgrounds. We tend to not want to move around a lot. Part of it is, and we've talked about before, becoming part of the community. But not only that, it really saves us a lot of money both on our campground costs as well as our fuel costs. One of the things that we try to do is we try to stay monthly, but I would even consider staying seasonally if we needed to. So some examples of this are a campground that you would pay $75 for each night. You might also pay $385 a week, which would be really good savings. But we like to even try to stay the full month, which for this particular campground that we're talking about would be $825 plus your electricity, which is not usually between $50 and $100, but really a true big savings over the cost of the nightly. Another example is, say it's $64 a night for the nightly expense, but $399 per week, or a little over $1,000 a month. So again, a lot of money that's back in your pocket for just staying somewhere longer. And then the third example I love, this one is really interesting. It's a place actually in Arizona, but you could stay $34 a night, which is really pretty good expense, pretty good cost. But you could stay also $195 a week or $350 a month, which you're saying, wow, that's really cheap. Well, it gets even better. If you want to stay for 7 months at this RV park, it would only be a little over $1,100. So if you really are needing to live on the cheap, and I always say if things get bad, we can always go there. And it's actually a nice park, but you could stay at a park really inexpensively and save a lot of money. So that would be our number one. Number two is going to an escapees co-op park. So the co-op parks is something you may not know about, but they have a number of parks in the country, and those parks are something that you, number one, have to get on a waiting list to get into. But once you get into, you are actually leasing a specific site. And some of these sites usually have either like a shed, some of them have some landscaping, or whatever the previous person put on it. But you are leasing for a very inexpensive cost a specific site that you can go and park your RV and stay for, maybe it's for the whole season or whatever it is. You could stay, I think, throughout the year, but some of these are in places that you may not want to, but some of them are in places you might want to stay throughout the year. But the interesting thing is you're leasing, so you'll end up putting a deposit to get on the waiting list, usually like $1,000, and it might take anywhere from 2 to 5 years to get in. But once you get in, you'll pay a sum of money. And I know the park that we had looked at, one of them at one point, it would have been like, I think it was $13,000, $14,000 to lease, and that is all you pay. That's all you pay to get in, and then from there you're paying a maintenance fee, which might be like $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000, but that covers your whole season. Actually covers your whole year, I should say. So those are really cool, and a lot of people use that as their home base. Number 3 would be the escapees RV parks. That's another unknown. You may not know about it unless you're part of escapees, but escapees has a number of RV parks. They're not co-ops, but they're parks, and you can go and stay at those for either a night, or you can stay for, maybe it's a number of months, like 2 months or something like that. Because a lot of times at these parks, they have where they have like, almost like these roundups. I don't remember exactly what they call them, but but you can go, and a lot of other people are going there and staying for a few weeks to a month. You could stay for as little time as you want, but they're very, very inexpensive. And the other thing that's kind of cool about them is you get to meet a lot of people, because a lot of people coming in for the same reason you are, just to kind of stay and enjoy the area. So they'll have a lot of events on site, and they may even do some little trips and stuff like that. So number 4 is work camping. Work camping is something that Jim and I will probably be doing once I retire. So sometime next year I might start doing some work camping. And the way that we would do it, some people do it all the time. They do work camping all the time, and you basically are getting your RV site paid for. And in some locations, you'll also get you might get minimum wage. You might get some money for the hours that you work too. But primarily the reason we would do it is we would be able to not pay RV campground costs for that time. It gets us to stay in a location, so we're not moving around a lot and saving on fuel. And you get to meet a lot of people. A lot of the campgrounds that we've been have work campers, and you can see that there's a real friendship and camaraderie among the people that are there. So that is something that we're thinking of, and it is a great way to save on your campground costs if you're full-timing. And then number 5 would be boondocking. Boondocking is not something we do a lot of, but we would do it, and we have done it, going from point A to point B, because sometimes you might need to travel a couple days to get to your next location that you're going to stay at. And so paying like either $30 or $40 a night just to sleep seems like a waste of money, honestly, to me. So we prefer to just boondock. We do have a membership in Harvest Host, and in the summer we couldn't use it, but we would love to use it when it's cooler, because then we don't have to worry about AC costs, especially since you wouldn't have hookups. Generally you don't have hookups, but Harvest Host is a great place to go see either wineries, some small and local museums. They also have, I think, some breweries, just different kind of things there. And it's they do ask that you spend some money at the location as a thank you and an appreciation. And that's never a problem for us, because we can always go and do some wine tasting or something. So that would be the other way. I also want to make a note, because I know my video wouldn't be complete without talking about Thousand Trails. Thousand Trails is something that we explored when we were first looking, and it can save you a lot of money. However, we know that they keep expanding and offering different membership options, and the demand has gone up so much for campgrounds. We also know, just by looking at a Facebook, there is a Facebook group that I know Jim belongs to, but there are a lot of people that want to get into those parks, and some of the parks are not as nice and some of the parks are very nice. So of course the very nice parks are going to be very hard to get into. The other thing that I wasn't thrilled about is that you had a limit based on your membership of usually either 7, I think 14 or 21 days, and in 21 days I just felt like I wanted to be able to stay for at least a month at a place, so that was part of it. The other thing is, if you do explore going into it, and I think everyone should make their own decision, because it may be very good for you, look at where those campgrounds are located and make sure it's actually where you want to travel, because that was one of the things for us as well. It would have been limiting for us. So it is another great way to save money. It's just something that didn't work for us. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope these tips were helpful to you. And if you enjoy this information that we share with you, I hope you will subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and have a great week. Bye.